Hello and welcome to Real Biz. I'm Rebecca Jarvis here in New York City, and here's what's on our radar today. Social media sites like Facebook and Twitter are profiting off your posts. I'm talking about raking in literally hundreds of millions of dollars in ad revenue every time you share those selfies, upload a video, or update your status. Well, imagine if you could share in some of that money-making madness. Enter this. Take a look at this. What you're seeing is a man who says he went from couch surfing, literally homeless, to making hundreds of dollars a week posting videos of himself on social media. Kevin Hinkle went from sleeping in the woods to playing the role of a life coach on this new social network that pays you for your posts. How did he do it? Well, it's a website called Sue. It gives 90% of its revenue back to its users. It just launched 4 months ago, and now they have over 3 million people who have joined, even some celebrities like 50 Cent and Timbaland. And we are joined now by the founder, the brains behind this new social network, Sebastian Sobchak. He is founder and CEO of Sue. It's so nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Rebecca, for having me.
So you're a baby still. The company is a baby still.
Very much so, but almost in a prize fight for a heavyweight. That's what we feel like.
You're in the. Who are you fighting with?
Our growth has been so incredible, been very humbling, it's been global, and to be a startup organization that a year ago was 5 people, now almost north of 30, it's just been a tremendous ride, and to keep up with everything and have a satisfactory product, it's just been a really amazing challenge, A to Z.
So who's in the ring with you? Is it Twitter? Is it Facebook? Is that who you're fighting for ultimate supremacy over social media with?
I think philosophically it's even bigger than that. In 2000, everything changed to this free internet where content value is transferred to the platforms and the creators.
The platforms being Twitter,
Google,
Facebook, Google. They
all
make
the
money.
Search
We put our
engines,
posts out there. All of our activity
content,
helps them make money.
Your music, your art, and so forth. And the platforms have really monetized that in a fashion as if they were copyright holders, right? And so the original content creators, had that value kind of seeped away from them and ported to the platforms. So we're fighting kind of a philosophy of, okay, the status quo is that everything's going to be free, right? Your pictures, your photos, the stuff on social, and we just think that there's a better way to do it. So educating people that, you know what, if you're the contributor, driving all the value for these platforms, we think a better way is for you to be compensated for your content and actually in social, the relevance of your social network as well.
I want to come back to that because clearly there are some big YouTube stars that are getting paid millions of dollars for their content. So I want to be fair to the big social media sites out there that are ultimately, if you're big enough, you get paid. I'll come back to that, but I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest, how you're doing this, how you're paying users. How would I, if I just started posting on Sue, how would I make money?
It's not too dissimilar of how the monetization models work on other publishing platforms in the social space. So the big incumbents, right? They essentially wrap ads around content. They put ads that are very highly targeted into your feed, targeting your interests, and we do the same thing. It's just that we take 90% of that and algorithmically put that value into people's accounts that are ascribed to their social account.
Does it matter how many followers you have?
Sure, that plays a part of the relevance. You're essentially paid for the relevance of your content.
Everyone's paid. Anyone who posts on Sue gets paid.
That's right. If you're a content creator that has organic reach, then you're paid. And also we pay for the size of your social network because only maybe 5% of people on social are really relevant content creators, but that doesn't mean the people that brought them to the platform aren't worth anything because everybody's an influencer or within a couple degrees of separation of somebody that is extraordinarily valuable. So we essentially distribute 90% of the proceeds to those that are A, creating all the content, or B, creating the social network, and there's a lot of overlap in that.
Let's imagine I have, let's say, 100 followers, right? Somebody with family, friends, typical social media user. How long is it going to take me to make $100 on Sue?
It's difficult to just quantify that because you have to take a lot of assumptions. Did you invite those people to the platform? If you did,
let's say I did.
Then it's a lot faster. Then, for example, what are they doing? Are they not inviting anybody, or are they reconnecting their social networks from other platforms? If they're doing so, I mean, that's the definition of virality and how a social network grows. You could be easily making hundreds of dollars a week. And
Hundreds of dollars a week.
That's right. And we have users who are, of the same ilk as the beginning YouTubers who are not famous now, who are making, a living out of what they do on YouTube. We have those same types of trajectories for kind of the average Joes on Sue.
And what is the highest paid user on Sue right now?
Well, we're very private about disclosing information. It's like a bank account. But from the people who actually publish their earnings, because they can't believe it, some of them make, we had this amazing starlet, Kimberly Henderson. She literally 2-3 weeks ago went viral on her YouTube channel and all over social media, including Sue. And she made over $100 one day, just in one day, because of just her total reach on the platform. So she's been making pretty amazing money. And of course, the songwriters and the producers who brought her onto the social platform, they've benefited as well. So it's a trickle-down philosophy where essentially not only does the content creator, if they're a superstar or go viral, create a lot of value, but they create the whole, they create a lot of value for the entire chain that brought them to the platform, which is rewarding the adoption.
Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are hearing this thinking, I wouldn't mind making a couple $100, even if it's only every couple of months, making a couple of $100 off of whatever I was already putting out on, Facebook or Twitter. How do you get onto Sue? Because you have to get invited, right?
That's right.
So you have to know somebody.
That's right. It's invite only. So our spectacular growth has been kind of friction filled. You can't just join it. And the reason for that is conceptually, if you're an influencer, you want to essentially have a captive audience and have that audience be yours. If the platform invites everybody to itself, the platform is capturing that monetization and owns that network, which we don't feel is fundamentally right. Right, so it's not too difficult these days because we have millions of users to figure out who you like in music or arts or street art or life coaching or whatever, and find their code and join up through them. You can't actually go to.
So everybody has a code.
Everybody has an individual code. Yes.
So once you find that code, you can use that code and sign up.
Yes, that's right, and it's fairly simple. It's just your handle with the prefix sue.co. That's it.
To.co.
Sue.
TSU.co.
TSU.co.
So what's in the name? Sue.
So it's very short.
S-U.
Yep. .co. And it means the aesthetic ideal in Japanese. We feel that rewarding content creators for the commercial use of their likeness and image, like shocking philosophy, is the right thing to do, and it's kind of the ideal way to work. So the name goes exactly with where we want to be in the marketplace.
And you now have the likes of 50 Cent, Timberland on the site.
We have a lot of...
You must have reached out to them before Sue launched and said, please.
Actually, we didn't. They came to us.
They really came to you.
They came to our offices. They asked us, what are we doing? We heard that there's this amazing thing.
We'd like to get paid too.
Yeah, and for example, somebody like an Akon, who's not on our site, flew in from Senegal to meet with us for 3 hours and just sat in my office just wondering about what we're doing. And it's really not necessarily about phase one of what we're doing, which is what everybody's seeing. It's what essentially we become once everybody has distributed value in their application, which is on their phone now, where that's real purchasing power. And we get into merchant services and payments and things like that. How that applies to the regular person, where they can exchange that purchasing power for goods and services.
And when they come, all these celebrities, the musicians especially, when they come to your offices, what's their number one question to you? What are they looking to do?
They're telling me how we're doing what we're doing and how we fix the issues that they see, right?
As in they're not getting paid for their music.
Well, the business model of the status quo is basically give me your music, your lyrics, your art, your face. I'm going to wrap ads all around it, and I'm going to take all the monetization. If you told 50 Cent that 10 years ago in a business meeting, he's going to slam the door in your face or politely excuse himself, right? And this is impacting athletes and musicians and songwriters and so forth. We have songwriters on our platform, for example, who now can monetize their network, their influence, and their content to multiples of what they do on Pandora and Spotify and so forth.
They're making more on Sue than on Pandora and Spotify.
That's right. So Andrew Frome, who's a 50-time RIA recording, not artist, but a songwriter, he has royalties on Pandora of $18 every quarter.
$18 a quarter.
Yep,
That's nothing.
His song gets played 1.5 million times, which means if you extrapolate, if his song were played 150 million times, which means every household in America has basically heard it, he'd make $1,800. He makes multiples of that $18 per day last week.
Wow. All right, so one last question. For anybody who's still like, wait, how does this whole Sue thing work? Break it down for us. As an average person, how do you go on Sue and make money?
Yeah, very easily. You find a short code that are accessible everywhere. Your favorite influencer perhaps is already on Sue. You find their code, you register, you create your own short code, and then you can use all the discovery features and functions that we have on the site to start following people. You can use your own short code to reconnect your social network, giving the same monetization math to your social peers, and then basically do whatever you do on social on the daily. You can post pictures and links and your selfies and interact and share photos and it's a fully functional social experience that there's basically no learning except we give you this purchasing power that you can do stuff with, right?
Very cool. Well, best wishes to you. Good luck with it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to have to definitely figure out who to sign up through, where to find the code of my favorite influencer. Maybe it'll be 50 Cent. The website is called Sue, TSU.co. Cool. Thanks so much for joining us on Real Biz. And thank you for joining us on Real Biz. Listen, we want to hear from you. What are your tweets and Facebook posts worth? You got to like us, tweet us, and definitely comment below. Tell us exactly what they're worth. Is it a penny? Is it 10 cents? Is it $1? We want to hear from you. Thanks so much for joining us from the studios in New York City. This is Real Biz, and I'm Rebecca Jarvis.